Hello out there, UCR family. Welcome back to the cinema. We've pulled up our seats. We've got our popcorn. We've got all the goodness. We're ready to start, but I think there's only really one way to start this review, and that's to say, hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken!
Hi, Ken!
Hi, Barbie! That's right.
Hi, Ken.
We are jumping in the deep end today and reviewing 2023 Barbie. I mean, one name to dominate them all at the moment. It is riding high on success and some controversy and just everything. And who knew Barbie was the movie that the world needed to
I know, right?
who knew? Who knew? I'm freshly seeing it. So I saw it last night. I took my mom to see Barbie, so that was
Did she wear
nice.
pink? Did she like it?
We did. We wore pink. I wore my Trixie Mattel shirt because she's like, Barbie. So I'm wearing Barbie. I had a pink like flannel shirt as well, pink and grey flannel shirt. There was so much pink at the cinema. Everyone seems to have really dove in there, and it was amazing.
Yes.
The length and breadth of the people that were there. So of course there was little girls and their mums, and I think that the marketing has kind of confused people to think that this is a children's movie when it's really not.
Right.
But I think it's a good movie for kids to see, but it's not a kids movie, so they might have got a little bit bored. But there were teenage boys there in a group.
Isn't the rating PG-13?
Yeah. But there was a group of teenage boys that had all, and they were straight boys. They had pink visors on and like pink flower lace and stuff. They'd all gotten together and gotten dressed. There were like older mothers and daughters. There were groups of women. There were gay guys. It was like, I haven't been in a movie cinema that's been that full or had that many people diverse. In it for years. For years. I couldn't tell you. He's taken over the Barbie house. Look at him.
I had no interest in seeing this movie. Did not care even a little bit. And it was Aiden's birthday, the 20th, and it was like the preview day for it, right? Because it came out the 21st. And what did he say he wanted to do for his birthday? Was to go see fucking Barbie. And frankly, I'd rather get kicked in the dick by the donkey. So I was like, okay, all right, we're going to go see Barbie. And we did, and it was only us and like 3 other people in there. It was like, oh, this is, but there was no pink. There was no special thing. I see everybody else, they've got like the Barbie thing. Everybody's standing in the Barbie box. There was no to do, nothing. And we go, and we watch, and at the end, Tyler's like, oh, it was off a clump. It was such a trip. But they thought it was, they actually really enjoyed it. They got it, and the other few little people that were in there, it was a very mixed bag of people.
And you have 3 boys. You have 3 boys.
Yeah, and I felt so weird. I'm like,
boys, and they wanted to see Barbie. That's.
Like, oh, they're like, oh, the fat guy's taking his little, dragging his kids to go see Barbie, and I'm like, no, it's the other way around.
The kids are dragging the.
Yeah, I don't want to go see. I mean, I just had no, and I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. It was not what I thought it was gonna be.
Right.
And I can't say that I'd go see it again, but I didn't end up hating it. I was like, well, maybe I'll just, I'll take a nap.
Oh, I think I'm going to watch it again. I think it's one of those movies I'm going to watch again and again and quote for years to come.
So who did you see it with, Vera? Who did you go and see Barbie with?
Well, on Friday nights, I usually go to dinner and a movie with my besties, my sister Dia, my friend Karen, and my friend Ellie. The 4 of us usually. And lots of other people join in, but we're the core group. We've had people come and people go, and but so we went to see Oppenheimer last week, and we weren't, half of us wanted to go see Barbie and the other half didn't. And I just figured, well, if you guys don't want to go see Barbie, I'll go with my niece because she'll go see it again with me. She went opening night. And and she had a full cosplay something she wore. I don't even know what she wore. But so Dia had read or had heard on NPR that it was really a feminist tale, so she got intrigued. And then Karen had read something on one of her sources, and she said, "Yeah, I hear it's pretty good. I think we can go to Barbie." And so everybody's like, "All right, let's go to Barbie." So we went to see it. I ran into a couple of friends from work. There was all sorts. There was families with kids, families. Like all the girls were dressed up, and mom was dressed up, which you never see anymore. I mean, people don't dress to go to the movies, and it's all these little girls in fairy dresses. And then there were older couples, and there were, teenagers. And yeah, right in front of us was a couple of boys and a little girl. I think it was like 3 boys and their younger sister or something,
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a pretty full house, but.
Yeah, very mixed bag. Mixed bag of people.
Yeah.
And I guess it speaks to, we'll talk more about it as the movie goes along, but I feel like they kind of trick the world into it's very subversive. It's like, oh, it's Barbie. How serious can Barbie be?
Yeah.
You're not going to leave this movie questioning your existence at all. You'll be okay.
It's Barbie.
It's okay. It's all good. So let's dive into it. If you haven't seen Barbie, this will have spoilers. So if you haven't seen Barbie yet, please pause. Get to the cinema with everyone else in the universe. Go see Barbie. Come back, join us, and have your say on the
Let's
movie.
go party.
Yeah, we'll go party with Barbie. So our story opens with a very familiar voiceover. How long did it take you to pick the voiceover?
30 seconds. Maybe
30
5,
seconds.
Really?
Like everyone knows Helen Mirren. Everyone knows Helen Mirren when you hear her. I was like, what a choice.
I can pick her out of the crowd.
What a choice. So Helen Mirren is our narrator, and I knew straight away. I was like, oh, satire. This is going to be satirically delicious.
Well, that opening scene, is just...
2001: A Space Odyssey, right?
Yes, you just said they start hitting the, you knew where it was going from that moment,
At the moment you saw those giant legs, that pointed foot. In the original Barbie bathing suit too, the first one she was sold in.
And
Perfect.
I want to say,
we love
Margot Robbie and Barbie. I mean,
she is insane in this movie. From the look to the performance, she is. This has taken her up another level, in my opinion. I always thought she was pretty great, but I was like, especially towards the end of the movie, I'm like, oh, Jesus, you better act, girl. You better act.
I want to know how they're going to make a sequel.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
I hadn't heard, but I'd be interested in it.
So we meet stereotypical Barbie, as she is known, as she references herself. And she is our focal point for Barbie Land. And Barbie Land is everything I think people thought of when they were kids, right? The women rule the world. Every Barbie has their own dream house. They wake up, everything's perfect. Then we've got doctors, we've got lawyers, we've got politicians.
Yeah.
Like everything. They cover the gamut, and I love that. Of course, no one ever uses stairs in Barbie Land, and she floats. It's because you don't. How often?
I was actually very upset because I didn't see my favorite Barbie.
Who's your favorite Barbie?
Which my cousin sent me. That was her Barbie, and then she sent me in the 80s. I didn't see Barbie in the Rockers. I'm just saying.
True.
With the cassette tape, I had it. Barbie and the Rockers. Rockers. Totally in the groove. In the groove.
We are children of the 80s. I'm like, oh, maybe that's a sequel. Maybe Barbie and the Rockers is a sequel. Maybe. You never know.
That was the shit. Okay, that cassette tape was the shit.
Right. They just had to beat Jem to the punch. They couldn't have Jem coming in and overtaking. It's like, no, girl, Barbie's going to get there first. But Barbie, as we're talking about, Barbie dominates. Barbie is everything. She's an astronaut. She's the road crew. She's the vet. She's everything. And there are
Sailor.
Multitudes of Barbies. I love the breadth of the cast and the look and, you know, all that kind of thing. Let's have a quick look at them because they're pretty amazing. Look at all of these Barbies. These are all these people are Barbie. So it's cute.
Well, there's a couple Kens in there, but
there's a couple of Kens in but I love, where does Ken live? Who cares? Where does Ken live? Who cares? No one cares. Poor Ken.
No
Ken is
no one cares about Ken.
We know.
And it's really
we know that
true.
Ken's job, but we know that Ken's job is beach.
yes.
You know, a very important job. His beach. His job is beach.
Yep.
And
Ryan Gosling was on the Graham Norton show last week, and he talks about how Ken, everyone knows that Ken's role is simply an accessory. He's a different pair of shoes. He's a different costume. He's just something that Barbie puts on and leaves. Yeah. And he showed a picture of his children's Barbies, and Ken was lying face down in the dirt next to a half-eaten lemon.
But I love it. But this is the commentary that they have in the movie. They know what people think. It's like they've taken the subconscious of the world and gone, here it is. We're going to reflect it back at you.
Did you read who was up to play Ken at one point?
Well, who was going to play Ken?
And could not get overseas to play him?
Who?
You didn't read it?
No.
Oh my God! So Amy Schumer was actually going to be Barbie at one point.
Yes, we're going to talk about. Well, I was going to mention that Amy Schumer was originally meant to be Barbie.
David Rose, you know.
Oh.
Was actually
who was he going to? He was going to be Ken.
Yeah.
One of the Kens.
I think he was going to be the Ken.
The Ken. Stereotypical beach Ken.
I read that Greta Gerwig had him in mind. Had Ryan Gosling in mind for a long time.
Yeah, but it might have been before Greta Gerwig was involved because this movie's been in development for a long time. As we just said, Amy Schumer was originally meant to play Barbie, and I think I could see Amy playing Barbie. You can see how it would work. You could see how it would work and how the story would inform. Do you know what I mean? I could see.
Yeah, she had a totally different. Yeah.
It would be a comedy. It would be a straight out comedy movie, and I think I would be interested. Margot Robbie is amazing. I'd be interested to see how it would have gone. I think.
Well, there's certainly room for other women to play Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
You know, you could create a new story for every Barbie.
And that's the beauty
true.
of Barbie.
I guess that makes the sequel easy, right? Because anybody's Barbie.
Everybody's Barbie. We're all Barbie.
Every woman, right?
We're all Barbie.
Dan Levy could come back and be Ken.
Look, I don't think it's even that specific. I think when it comes down to it, especially at the end of the movie, when it's talking about what it is to be human, it's universal, and you can we'll get there. We'll get there, but it's. I think that's why the movie's doing so well, is that everyone can see themselves in part of this, or has had those feelings that they put through. Like, there was a moment there where I went, oh, and just went, oh God. It's like, oh, right in the heart. It's like, oh, okay. This is some Taylor's.
Tyler was crying like a baby, and he's like, it was so sad.
Oh, bless.
Oh.
He was just so.
Everything is perfect in Barbie Land every day. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and next week. Everything is always perfect. Until
America Ferrera's arc is beautiful too.
Yeah. Until we get to one night, until the fated dance party. This is my favorite. Then we're having a dance off. We're doing the dance off. Do you guys ever think about death? And then everything just starts. Well, I love capital S satirical comedy. Like this ticked my boxes straight away. Like the moment I saw Margot Robbie's feet, like
yes, the flat feet.
The flat, like, but the Barbie feet. She's like, oh my god, they're gonna go like literal Barbie.
Francie had flat feet. Francie has flat feet.
Let's talk about who is your favorite Barbie in this universe?
Kate McKinnon.
Kate, right? How good is Weird Barbie? Why is she always in the splits? She's like
because when Barbie first came out, she had that was her only leg movement.
Yeah.
Every Barbie in the 60s and early 70s, they did splits and they stood up. There was no sitting down for Barbie unless she sat with her feet
with her legs out
in front of her.
Yeah, with her legs out.
You know,
but I love they are that specific with stuff too, and I love that Weird Barbie is weird because she's the one you played with too much. She's the one that you invested all your angst and everything. She's the one that got the haircuts and the hair colors because you know that every kid had that one Barbie that they're like, just the circle of the eye, everything. The dog is amazing. I love the discontinued Barbies are my favorite. Every time that Midge is on, Midge! I forgot you were around.
I had a Midge.
Of course you did.
I had a Midge. My mother, I was 9 years old. My mother put me on a diet because she didn't want a fat kid. And I was going to get a Barbie once a month if I stayed on the diet and lost weight. That lasted 1 month, and the doll she got was the discontinued Midge, which nobody had and nobody wanted, including me.
Poor Midge. And Midge is just rocking her own world next door to Barbie, like, everyone just screams. Let's forget she's there.
But nobody reacted that way to Alan, and he got discontinued too.
Also, look, you got to give it up to Alan. He is great in that movie. In the movie, I love Alan. I love Sugar Daddy Ken and Magic Earring Ken.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is so
not
like
Sugar Daddy, Sugar's daddy.
Yeah, I know, but
Sugar's daddy.
I love it. I just love that they've been that specific. Like the whole drama around Magic Earring Ken. It's like, I have an earring. I wear a necklace, and the necklace. You know the story behind the necklace. You know the story behind the necklace for Magic Earring Ken?
No.
It looks like a cock ring.
Oh.
On the doll, it looks like a cock ring, and everyone's like, Magic Earring Ken was like, yeah, because it was the 80s and he had an earring and he's got this magic necklace on as well.
Speaking of the 80s and the cock ring, when he I'll beat you off.
Yeah, beat you off.
And then when he was like, I don't have genitals or whatever, he's like, I have what the fuck did they say?
A flesh-colored mound.
Yeah. I was just in stitches.
There were parts of this movie where I laughed out loud and no one else did. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe just for me then. Maybe just for me as a kid that grew up. Luckily, I had lots of female neighbors. Gay kid, got access to Barbies, you know? Got access to Barbies, could play with Barbies whenever I wanted to. So lived that life. But, you know, it's like, and poor Alan, he's Ken's friend. He fits all his clothes. That's it. That's it for Alan. That's all he gets.
Yeah.
I had the Porsche. I had the limo. I had all the furniture. I had the Barbies. Okay.
Jeff had Barbies. That's impressive.
I had a lot of them.
They were in.
I probably had 3.
Oh, I had a lot.
And then my sister maybe had two or three each. You know, we had different Barbies throughout the house over the years, but I didn't have any accessories.
See,
Now, my
across the road had the camper van, so we were like,
Oh, I had the camper van too.
my cousin
Unfold.
had the original
Yep, I had
Malibu
that.
Dream House that opened trifold like that.
yeah,
That was
But I
actually
love-
not pink, but aquamarine.
down to the specifics of like the doors in the house having the heart-shaped handles and stuff. That you're like, that's what the toys had. Like that set would have been amazing. It's no wonder that they ran out of pink paint though. Like there was a worldwide shortage of pink paint when Barbie was in production. But
Do you know how much money they could make if they had kept that set up for people to
I
just
know,
go?
imagine.
Right.
You know, if it was a Disney movie, they probably would have.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was a Disney movie, there would be a
Oh, I'm
Barbie
sure
land.
it'll be like Harry Potter. They're gonna see how much money this movie makes. That'll be the next thing. You'll be able to go visit
not
Barbie Land.
stopping. She's not
Yeah.
stopping. So Barbie has to go and visit Weird Barbie because she notices strange things happening to her, like her flat feet. Bruh, bruh.
Oh,
Flat feet. Bruh, bruh.
Ken.
Stop it, Ken.
Trying to puke.
Stop it, Ken. I'm sorry.
For a little gay Ken.
Poor little gay Ken. And then
It doesn't
who's
look
the guy
weird.
from Bridgerton? He's the guy from Bridgerton. I'm like,
Oh, was it?
what? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And so Barbie just when she discovers cellulite and having her hot water. I love the hot water. Showering with no water, eating and drinking with nothing. It's like, yeah, they got her.
I'm not used to
We
that.
Yeah. She figures out, well, see, the hero of the story really is Weird Barbie because she knows what's going on. She's the wizard. I've heard this.
Shaman of all Barbies.
Yeah. I've heard this being called the Wizard of Oz in reverse, which it is really, but she's a wizard that actually does the job,
Right.
Unlike that man behind the curtain, she does the job. So she has to send Barbie on a quest to the real world to find a little girl who is not playing with her properly anymore and treating her badly. And we get the flashes, which is cool. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting comment that Barbie has imprints of the life of the person that played with her. And it's very Toy Story-ish. You're like, oh, okay. What have I done to my poor Barbie? I mean, we've all put Barbie through a lot over the years.
Yeah.
She's had a lot. The one thing they didn't do that I thought that they were for sure going to do is just hold the Barbies against each other. Barbie and Ken. It's like, oh, they're kissing.
You would hold them like this, and then you would.
Yeah,
them
exactly.
Like a full body.
Exactly. And then they got naked too. Well, that's a different movie.
Never
Aladdin,
did that.
Eric, Philip, all the Disney princes. Yeah, they used to run trains on those bitches.
But I love even when Ken goes to kiss Barbie and she's just like, he's like, yeah, that was great. He's like, poor Ken doesn't know what he wants in the real world. He thinks he wants
really mean to him. She's like, I don't want you.
Exactly. Yeah. Ken doesn't know what he wants. He thinks he wants Barbie. He thinks he wants Barbie though. That's what he thinks he wants at the beginning of the movie. And they go into the real
Barbie's
world.
boyfriend.
Yeah. They go into the real world. I love that look that they have, that neon rollerblade look. It's amazing when they hit. I love that and of course, of all places, Barbie World, Barbie Land links directly to California.
Malibu Beach.
Of course.
No,
it's got a beach.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jarvis Beach.
I don't think
Come
it was
on.
Malibu. I think it was Venice.
Oh. I know, they should have been in Malibu, shouldn't they? If they were really...
Malibu doesn't have a skate park that I know of.
Well, they should have. So this is where we get our first interactions with the real world, and I love they just keep getting arrested for stuff. And the cops are like, even when you put more clothes on her, she's still attractive. It's like, oh, it's like one giant ad for Barbie, even though she's in the real world. And it's just fantastic. It's like, I can't talk too much about it. But we need to after all these antics, alert Mattel. And the head of Mattel, who, look, I am not usually a Will Ferrell, like, capital F fan. I loved him on Saturday Night Live. I think sometimes the movies are too much. Like, some of the movies are too much. He was pretty good in this.
You can't hate Elf.
Oh.
I don't hate it. Like, I just think some of the movies, it's a bit much. But he was pretty good as the CEO of Mattel. I enjoyed.
I never watched Elf.
Oh,
you've never watched Elf?
No, because I fucking hate Will Ferrell. He fucking ruined Bewitched.
Yeah, well, the less said about that,
was doomed. I'm sorry, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
was
true.
not the right choice. But that's another show. Never mind. Anyway,
it is. We'll get on to Bewitched another time. Barbie finally tracks down her girl, or who she thinks is her girl, Sasha, when she ends up in Davy Crockett High School.
I know.
What world are we in? This is not okay. This is interesting, and she gets warned by a random girl. Hey, don't go over there. Sasha will destroy you. And Barbie starts to
everyone loves me.
Yeah, a bit of reality read to her. And I feel like this is the beginning of her like downward existential crisis where she's like, but what happens in a world where not everyone loves me? What happens to me? Who am I in a world where people don't like me? And all that kind of stuff. And she's poor sad Barbie. We feel bad for her. Meanwhile, Ken...
We do, but she's still rocking that freaking cowboy suit.
Yeah. Ken is off on his own adventure, ends up in Century City, God help him, and discovers the patriarchy. Just every scene of it was like heavy-handed, yes. Very heavy-handed at points.
How could you not play it heavy-handed?
Hilarious. The horses. I don't know where he got the horses from.
My favorite line one of my favorort lines.
The end.
I was really into the patriarchy, but I kind of thought it meant horses, but it really didn't, and then I lost interest.
I know, right? But one of the sweetest moments in the movie actually happens here, when Barbie's at the bus stop.
Oh yes.
Yes, and that was actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you know who this woman was?
Yeah,
why she was?
I do.
Why she was so
good? You know,
good?
Jeff, who the old woman at the bus stop was?
I thought that it had some significance, but I don't know.
So she is the daughter of the creator of Barbie, the real life daughter of the creator of Barbie. She's the reason why the doll exists. Yeah, she's the reason why the doll exists. And that's why she says, "You're beautiful." I know it.
I know, yeah.
I know it. It's so cute. And
it is.
Really, like when you look back on the movie, really, really poignant when you're like, oh, okay, cool. Wow, this is going to unlock some weird feelings. It's like, okay, cool. No worries. But anyway, Barbie ends up going to Mattel or getting, kidnapped by Mattel and having to be summoned to Mattel. I do love the whole escape. The escape route is funny. The legs go over and she's like, yeah, like Barbie would. We don't go through things. We go over and around.
All right.
And she ends up in a mysterious office in Mattel. Great cameo, right?
Yes.
I didn't even know Rhea Perlman was in this movie until I sat down and watched. I was like, Rhea Perlman? Hello. Yeah. How are you?
Well, the opening credits or whatever, when I saw her name, I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't expect it. And she has some really touching things to say to Barbie. And in the end, we find out that I love it. She is the ghost of the creator of Barbie who keeps an office on the 7th floor of Mattel.
Floor, yeah.
17th.
On 17th floor of Mattel.
In the kitchen.
This is great. I love it. She keeps an office on the 17th floor of Mattel.
Yeah.
There's some great moments. There's some great moments between Will Ferrell and his flunkies. But we're probably go into like the specifics of the whole movie because we still want people to watch it. The relationship between Ruth and Barbie, like, is so interesting, and then it lets you put yourself in that situation. And that Billie Eilish song, that damn song,
yes,
that Billie Eilish song. What was I made for? You're like, what is going on? Like, as soon as I heard it, I went, this.
Look at Jeff, give me the face.
I heard the first note to that song, I went, oh no, this isn't going to be good. This is not going to be good.
That might have been the part where I was dozing a little bit.
Jeffrey is like, oh no. Right at the end where it got real serious.
On Margot Robbie too.
But Margot was great. Like, at the end of this movie, when she was not Barbie anymore. As she said, she doesn't feel like Barbie. I'm not Barbie anymore. I'm not Barbie. Who am I? If you know, if I'm not in this world, who am I? It's really, deep stuff. It's like, oh. We do have to talk about Ken finally taking the patriarchy back to Barbie world. Barbie land. It's not Barbie's dream house here. It's Ken's Mojo Dojo. Huh?
Mojo Dojo Casa.
That was the gayest shit I've ever seen. I was just waiting for them to all start making out.
I know, right? It's great. But like horses and trucks and Barbie
doors.
Barbie has turned, all the Barbies have turned to maids, housewives, and agreeable girlfriends just to become the object of Ken's affection. But even when Ken takes over, Barbie doesn't want him. It's so that's super interesting too. Like, he has literally changed the world to have her, but he still don't want her. Like, she's like, no, I don't. It's not. I've got to say, one of my favorite parts of this movie has to be the whole Ken song / musical number.
I agree. It rolls so many different songs and different styles into it, and then it becomes this ballad, and it was beautiful.
And by the end of the movie, I think Ryan Gosling steals this movie away from everyone else. He is so over dramatic, but when he does deliver poignant stuff, it's poignant. Like, he has these little moments where he's like, when he talks about just being an accessory, and you go, oh, I do feel sorry for Ken. Like, he's meant to be the villain. Like, he's meant to be the villain of the piece, but we feel sorry for him as well. That's a hard line to walk.
I was wondering how they were gonna redeem all of them, right? Because it took such a hard turn where I'm like, holy shit! Like, they're all really the villain now. Like, how are they gonna bring them back from this?
Yeah.
Like, they're taking over Barbie land. They trashed the Barbie house. He put all that hung that ugly shit up in the Barbie dream house. You know what I mean?
How dare they?
Like, what the fuck? This is trash. And then what the hell is he wearing? That ugly fucking coat. I couldn't handle it. It drove me fucking nuts. Oh my God. And the headband, I wanted to scream. It was,
We got to talk about those abs, though.
Were they painted on? That wasn't real.
No, he's always been ripped. You see him in Crazy
Boy. It just didn't look right, though. It didn't look natural.
They might have been.
I think it was supposed to.
I think they might have been enhanced with paint but he is ripped. If you see him in Crazy Stupid Love with Emma Stone, the scene where he does the Dirty Dancing and lifts her over his head, he is freaking ripped.
Yeah. But a really interesting twist for Ken, and that's what, like, no matter who you are, you can find yourself in this movie. Like, this is for everyone who's had unrequited love. And it's like, no matter what I change for you, you still don't want me.
And interesting, before we get too far from the Ken song,
Yeah.
I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it, I can't guarantee it's 100%, but I read somewhere that the dance he did in that number was the dance he did on Star Search. Kid.
Amazing. Because, yeah, everyone forgets that, you know, he is a performer. He was one of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the Mickey Mouse Club days of the 90s, like with Britney and Christina and Justin and like all these pop stars. And it proves he's still got chops. He can still sing. He dances really well for someone who probably hasn't danced. Who hasn't probably danced in years. Like he dances really well. But I liked that they walked that line with Ken and that he was this, you know, villain, but a villain with a heart and a villain that you can understand and kind of put yourself in his place and go, okay, I get you, Ken. I know where those feelings come from.
Right.
I would have liked a bit more of that for Alan. I feel like
I thought it was fun how he kind of like became a little bit of a hero.
I loved it when Alan started kicking ass.
Yeah,
I love it. America for us to go. Let's talk about her. We haven't talked about her, but let's talk about America Ferrera. She's fucking great in this movie.
She's fucking great in all sorts of movies.
But
I
for
love
someone
her.
that hasn't like had big mainstream success since Ugly Betty,
She went into producing.
Yeah, she's worked. She's done
shows. I think she's a producer on the Jane the Virgin.
Yeah, she was on Superstore and stuff. But I feel like when she was the it girl on Ugly Betty, it's a really interesting contrast that she went from this show where she was the nobody to the beautiful one, and now she's like in this stereotypical Barbie stuff. But some of the monologues that they have her deliver, I'm like, oh, get it right in the heart. And I love that blouse that she wears at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did you know the reason why? One of that blouse was a dress or something, I swear, on one of the Barbies that the girls across the road owns. And that pattern just kind of I went, oh, it's doing something to me. Why do I know what that pattern and that color scheme is? I'm like, it was a dress. It was a dress on a Barbie. And I'm like, that's how specific they were. I'd be really interested to see like the behind the scenes stuff on this and find out how much of it is like, you know, verbatim Barbie, etc. Right.
Oh,
I'm sure there's some huge nerd will do a documentary on it, and I'll probably watch it and be like, yes, okay. But so Barbie Land is saved in the end after we find that, you know, it wasn't Sasha that had to do the healing. It was her mother, because her mother was the original owner. Like, she bought the Barbies and they have that link from Barbie together, which again is a really nice commentary on mother-daughter relationships in this film.
Right.
Like, there's one of the best lines I've heard in a while. Mothers stand still so their daughters can see how far they've come.
That was
I went like this. I was like, oh no, that's not because how often, and we saw it was really interesting because we saw it when we came out of the movie. We went and grabbed some food and I took Mum home. And there was this woman arguing with her mother and being really quite vicious to her mother in the car park. And I'm like, oh, but you're going to look back one day and go and see, like, understand your mother in a different way. And that's something that comes with age if you're lucky enough to, you know, have someone that long and see it. But it was weird that, like, we'd just seen the movie and then it just happened in front of it. I was like, oh, I'm in Barbie land. The universe is teaching me things in front of me. But I love, the apology scene between Ken and Barbie. It's nice. And for him to try and start to understand what it is to be, it's Ken. Like, it's Barbie and Ken.
Right.
Not just Ken. I'm like, okay. So there's a lot of talk about it's Ken spin-off or an and Ken spin-off. We'll see, I guess.
We'll see.
We'll see. My favorite part when everything starts turning against the Kens, and the only reason they have to vote, but they get distracted by girls. It's like, yeah, the patriarchy, and Rob. I love that his favorite song is "Push." Right. Did you see the footage of Rob Thomas that is on tour with Matchbox 20? He's like,
Yep.
I want to devote this next song to all the Kens in the world.
No, I haven't seen that.
But it's like, so he's in it. He's like, okay. Oh, you would be too. It's making you those dividends. Everyone's singing. And just that one Ken on the drums on the beach.
Yeah.
It was great. But again, one of my other favorite lines in the movie. What happened to Ken's Mojo Jojo Casa Hut? It's like, it's a Barbie dream house, motherfucker.
Oh, the boys were like, oh.
Yeah, I love that they bleeped it. I love that they bleeped it. The Mattel logo came up, but you heard all the kids in the room go, oh, and all the parents went, oh. The only other place where there was that cringe is when they were talking about how they don't have genitals. They don't have genitals. We just have plastic mouths. And you could just see the parents going, oh,
yeah,
God, don't go.
That was cringe. Well, no, and the beat you off thing, I thought was a little.
But that would have went over the kids' heads. I was laughing. Nobody's beaching anyone off.
I was like, oh shit! I'm like, come on.
Did it go over your kid's head?
They wouldn't have got it. Really?
I don't know. I think the older ones, yeah. I think they were catching a clue, yeah.
But I do love Ken's like, I got all the genitals. Like, I got all the genitals. He's great. And look, everything is right with Barbie Land when the Barbie Land is restored, but Barbie wants more. Barbie wants to be human. And I think that's we see that a lot. I mean, look, one of Jeffrey's favorite movies is Mannequin. Like, it's not a new trope. Like, it's not a new trope.
No, it's
but
the feminine struggle, the feminine mystique.
Yeah.
Barbie is every woman.
But I think Barbie, like, by the end of it, Barbie is everyone because she just wants to know what life is. Like, all these feelings and things, she wants to know she wants to experience them. She wants to know where in the universe she fits. And
if she knew how those shoes felt, she'd never wear them.
She would. Even though she goes, I never pick one. No, you're supposed to pick the ugly one. She's like, that one, the high heel. And we get the montage, the afterlife, I guess afterlife/birth montage, which is cool. It's like all different stages of life, and we find Barbie in the real world, handler, Barbie, and what is the first thing she does? I love that it's the last line of the
female experience, guys.
I love that it's the last thing in the movie. I'm here to see my gynecologist. Titles.
Oh my God, that had me fucking. And the boys did not get that one.
You know that is what tipped Ben Shapiro over the edge.
It would have been.
Sure. I'm sure. I was fucking in hysterics.
And I think
I thought she was going to go to work at Mattel. No.
Yeah, I thought she was going to.
She's at the fucking box doctor.
Yeah, I thought she was going to go work at Mattel, like take up Ruth's office and stuff like that, and be the next generation Barbie. No, I just want to go see my gynecologist. It's like,
she's getting her plastic nub checked.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I feel like this is a movie that, like you said, you'll see it once and go, okay, that was cool, that was interesting. Or I think it'll be one of those ones where you can go back and watch it and get different things out of it every
I'm sure
time.
that I will watch this again and again and quote it in my everyday life.
I do love when Barbie was entering the real world, because there's so many throwaway lines. Yes, my God, it's like the Skipper incident. Where a young girl broke into a house and tried to hug 3 kids at once. It's like, oh, skip. See that, like, and there is so much room, as Jeff said, because there are so many Barbies. It doesn't have to be Margot Robbie. What happened to Skipper? We get mention of Skipper, but we never see Skipper.
Nobody cares about Skipper.
Nobody cares about Skipper. But
Because
say,
I
Midge.
didn't know what the Skipper incident was.
She tried to. She was babysitting children and tried to hug 3 at once.
That's right.
That was the incident. That was the incident. But this movie shows no signs of slowing down. It's been what, out for 10 or 9 days, and in that time, off a budget of estimated between 128 and 145 million, it is sitting currently at $578.8 million worldwide. That is some bull. That's beating out Marvel. That's beating out everything. Everything. Barbie. Who knew? Who knew that something that
fucking wild,
as
something as superfluous as Barbie that everyone thought, because
let's take a moment to look at the evolution of Barbie. Barbie has evolved with the feminine movement. Barbie is 60 plus years old. She was created in 1958 or 59. She became a judge as women progressed. She became all of these things as the equal rights movement moved forward in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And it's funny that now in the 2020s, when women's rights are being put on the chopping block and women are being pushed back into this pigeonhole that they haven't been in a long time, that suddenly we need Barbie. We need to have every woman. This feminine moment is really what this movie is speaking to. This is why all the freaking conservatives are so triggered,
But I had an interesting comment the other day from someone that I know going, "Oh, it's Barbie. Why are we glamorizing pink, plastic, like that body image?" That I'm like, you don't know enough about what the doll
Barbie
was created
evolved with
for.
the progressive
Yes,
movement.
of course she is. She was that ideal, and that was problematic. But it has changed with the times, and you can't take away the power of something like we talked about the other day on the live show with the new dolls and with the cast of this show, of this movie, that Barbie does represent everyone now, and for people to be able to see themselves in a child to go, oh, okay, I have red hair, that's me. I'm in a wheelchair, that's me. Down syndrome Barbie, Barbie with amputee Barbie. All that stuff matters and has come from this. All this stuff has come from the original, that problem, and that it's answers to the problem, which is what you were saying. Jeff's laughing about amputee Barbie.
Well, it's really funny that Christina bought it for her niece.
That is funny. If you want to find out more, you can go back and watch our show from Friday. It was an interesting show. We had special guests, but we're gonna wrap it up. All right, how are we gonna judge this? How many? What can we use?
I give it 5 high heels.
You gotta give it 5 high heels, Vera. 5 high heels.
5 high heels.
Yep. Just final thoughts on your 5 high heel, Barbie?
I think this was the movie we needed right now. I think we need to remember that as much as Barbie has been a sexual objectified icon, she's also been a feminist icon.
Beautiful.
She moved a generation forward and moved forward with a generation.
Yep. Jeffrey, before you fall asleep. In your dream house? As someone who played with Barbie?
I would say 4, 4.5.
4.5, okay.
4.5. It's a fun little ride, and it had a surprising message that I didn't see coming in it. So I think it's great, and I'm curious to see if they do a follow-up and where it goes next.
We shall see. Yeah, look, I'm gonna give it a 5 too. I think it was great. It's the satire that I love. It's like really like verging on like silly, stupid, self-referential satire. But I love that kind of stuff. I love that it led us to a very, very deep message. I think that Margot Robbie was perfect. America Ferrera was perfect. And as I said, by the end of the movie, Ryan Gosling steals this movie and goes, whoop, I'm going to run away with it for a while. But then Margot comes in and has her acting moment. And you're like, oh, okay, Barbie, we get it. We're back with you. But the cast is all great. I love the soundtrack is great. Like, there's not really anything I could pick fault with. It's pretty good. And if you haven't seen it, and if you're on the fence about seeing it, just see it. Like, what's the worst?
Oh, it's definitely worth seeing for sure.
There are worse movies.
You might walk out feeling edified.
Yeah, and you might walk out going, "Oh, okay, I feel, yeah, like I'm not alone with some of the feelings that I have about my world, my place in the world, and who I am and why I'm here and stuff like that." And it all came from a pink box. So until next time, thank you for joining us here on Assigned Seating. We're about to go beat each other off. So
we gotta go to our gynecologist.
We're gonna have a beach off. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.